Hi everyone, welcome to my networking series using Cisco Packet Tracer. In this networking series, we are going to be looking at configuring networks, configuring devices using Cisco networking, Cisco Packet Tracer as our networking simulation tool of choice. Cisco Packet Tracer is developed by Cisco Systems. It's a totally free of charge simulation tool. All you need to do is to visit their website, that is www.netacad.com. Sign up or log in if you already have an account and follow the prompts. You'll be able to download it, install it, and once you've installed it, and open it, this is the interface you'll get. It's a pretty much simple interface to interact with. You have the topmost menu up there, this, where you can save. For example, if you click on file, you can save as, you can exit. We have the edit options where you can paste, you undo, redo. We have the options where you choose how you want your interface to look like. For example, my interface right now, the font size is on 14. I want text. I want green text on a black background. All right. And that is how my command line interface will be looking like. And then we have the toolbox right below that. This is basically the same thing, only that you have tools and as instead of words. All right, they are more like shortcuts to the menu. So you can create a new topology, open a new and a recent file, save and print. And then we have this logical workspace where you drag and drop your networking devices, you simulate your network right from here. All right, all this. You're going to be seeing a lot of it. So don't worry, you'll get used to it as we go along. And then you have the physical workspace right next to that. This gives you a sort of a physical feel of the network itself, like within a data center or a rack. But we shall be using the logical workspace to create our networks, all right? And then right below here, we have the tools section, tools selection area, where we shall be choosing our networking devices. All right. We have the routers, we have the switches, we have we have the servers, we have the cables or connections that you use when connecting those devices. All right. And then you have the security devices such as firewalls. All that will be you'll face it, you'll interact with it as the series goes along. So this is it. This is how it looks like. Get familiar with it. The files you save are saved as .pkt files. All right, pkt files, and that is how you'll be saving your progress in case you're saving anyway. All right. Yeah, so I thought I should first introduce it with the simulation tool itself. I'm using Cisco Packet Tracer, and that is what you should install if you're going to be following along. Okay. So to create our new topology, you simply drag and drop. For example, right now I'm under networking devices and routers as a submenu, and these are the list of routers available. All I need to do is to drag and drop, and that is it. This router is now on the workspace. Once you point and hold, it shows you all the information you need to know about that type of device you've selected. Okay. For example, right now it's showing you the device name, it's showing you the model, the host name, the name of the device. All right. the name of the networking device in the networking environment. That is the host name. It's labeled as router. Okay. And then it shows you the ports available, their state. It also shows you the VLAN available, whether an IP address has been set. All right. And what else does it show you? Yes, and it shows you the MAC address of that device. It's the same thing with switches. The select a switch, you drag and drop. And once you point and hold, it will show you the exact same things I've been talking about. Okay. Yes, it will show you the exact same things I've been talking about. The ports, their state, their MAC address and an IP address if it has been set up already. Okay. All right. So let's set up a simple network just for the sake of configuring, just to show you how to configure these devices. We are going to, the main goal of this series, of this episode, this first episode, is to introduce you to this Cisco Packet Tracer tool, this simulation tool that we are going to be using throughout this series, and to also configure a few basics. All right, just a few basics, just such that you get the feel. Now, in the next episode, we shall be configuring networks. We shall start with all from the basics of a network, and we shall progress along. So this is a switch, as you can see. Let's connect it to an end device like a PC. Okay, and we can connect it using okay, let's just use a cable. Okay, let's use a cable. We'll connect it to fast Ethernet 0 and fast Ethernet 0. Now, in Cisco Packet Tracer, you can click on the networking device, go to command line, and you're right into the device. Right now, we are in the switch interface. But in a production environment, you'd want to connect this computer or your laptop using a console cable. You click, you select that port, and you click here, you select console, you connect it to the console port on the switch. Physically, you would plug this cable into the console port on the switch. The port is labeled console. You click and fix it in, and on the PC, you connect it into either the networking port or the HDMI port or a USB port, depending on the type of console cable you have, and then you'd be able to access it using any program. Like the most common program is PuTTY. Some of you call it Pretty. It's the one you'd use to access the command line interface of the switch. And just like that, we are in the switch, as you can see. Okay, but for this networking series case, I'll just be clicking into the device itself just to save time. There is no benefit to using the PC. I'll just click on the device itself. So let's get right into it. So once you've logged in for the very first time, and this is the interface you're presented with. It might be in a different color, usually black text on a white background, but this was my setting. I selected green text on the black background, and this is what you'll see. Now there are 3 modes in configuring a network. We have the user mode, which is the first mode. It is denoted by that greater than symbol. Then we have the privileged exec mode, which uses the hash symbol, this, all right? Then we have the global configuration mode, which is denoted by the config word behind that hash symbol. So to move from the user mode to the privileged exec mode, you just type enable, and just like that, you're in the privileged exec mode. you know you're in the privileged exec mode because you can see this hash symbol. All right. Now to move from the privileged exec mode to the global configuration mode, you just type configure terminal. All right. And this is what I was talking about. You know you're in the global config mode because you can see the config word right behind this hash symbol. All right. But I'll take you back to where we began. All right. This is where we started from. You can tell how many commands or which commands you can run in each mode, but just by typing a question mark, and it represents every command you're able to run. For example, the most common command is show because you're looking for something. You can say show, use a question mark, and it gives you a list of commands you're able to complete that show with. For example, show version. Let's use that. You can say show version, and it displays every single detail about that device. All right. You can go through it and see which information is you're interested in. I would encourage you to view the system, the switch uptime. It shows you the switch uptime. Okay. The flash file, and it gives you a summary of the loads, the serial number of the motherboard, power supply, all that information. All right. And yeah, that's it. Then we can go to the privileged exec mode and just do a show, and it will show you a number of commands you're able to run. We shall be interacting with it. We may not exhaust all commands because there are quite a lot of commands, but we shall, as we configure, you will get used to some of these commands. All right. But to configure a device, you need to do it under the global configuration mode. And you do that by typing configure terminal. Right now, we are in the global configuration mode, and we are going to configure this switch with basic commands, just basic commands. The aim of this episode is just to introduce you, to give you a feel of what we shall be doing for the rest of the series. Okay. So right now, this switch is just labeled switch, which isn't good, which isn't convenient. Imagine you're in a production environment and you have 20 switches and they're all labeled switch. You don't know which one is which. This could be the HR switch, the IT switch, okay, the account switch, okay, and you don't know. So let's go ahead and rename it. To rename it, you type host name, and then you give it the name you want. You could name it, let's assume it's a branch office. You say maybe it's a New York office. New York switch. All right. And you can see right away the name has changed. Okay. So we can go ahead and secure this switch because right now anyone who plugs into it can be able to access it either remotely or physically. So actually to confirm the configuration on the switch, we could just exit this configuration mode and say show running configuration. It will show you everything configured. Right now it's only the host name that is configured, and that is because we've configured it. Okay, we'll show you the interfaces available, and everything else is not configured. The console, line console is not configured, meaning anyone who plugs in a cable will be able to jump right into the command line interface of the switch. The remote lines are not configured. Anyone who telnets or SSHs into this switch will be able to log in directly. Okay, so let's go ahead and secure our switch. Let's first secure our user mode, okay, such that anyone who plugs into this switch via console is first presented with a password, a login an authentication page. So we shall say line console 0. It is only one port, so that is why we say line console 0. We give it a password. We can give it Cisco just for this series, but in a production environment, you would want to make it more secure. Then you ask them it is required when you're logging in, and then that's it. You exit. All right. So right now, if I exited and let's first save our config. We can do that by typing copy running config to the startup config, and then we've saved it. So right now, if I exit, we are presented with this authentication page. We are presented with a user access verification page. So this is where we type in our password, and right into it we move right into the user mode. Okay, and just like that we enter user mode. So we go back to the global config mode. Okay, so we've secured the line console. We can also secure the remote sessions. Let's secure 5 of them. 0 to 4 is 5 sessions, meaning that for anyone logged in, of any 5 users logged in, they'll require to enter a password. We can also call it Cisco. All right. Yeah. Okay. Configure terminal. All right. So anyone who requires to log in remotely will be able to enter a password. Then let's secure our privileged exec mode. So we type that we secure it by typing enable password. Then we can say Cisco. All right, such that anyone who wants to move from the user mode to the privileged exec mode will require a password. Okay, no need to type login because the person is already logged in anyway. Okay, so we can save and then let's exit and see what we have right now. So right now we've secured the privileged exec mode. We've named the device. Okay, that's good. Yeah, and we've secured the console, the line console. We've secured the remote sessions, the virtual lines. All right. Yeah. So that's what we have right now. However, if you notice, all these passwords are in plain text. Okay. All these passwords are in plain text, and the enable password is also visible. So we can make it more secure by configuring a secret password. So we should go back to configure terminal, enable secret, and then we can call it CCNA. It shouldn't be the same as the enable password. And then we can save. So if we exit and go back to see the config we have, you can see that right now the enable password is the enable secret is encrypted. And once you configure the secret password, you can no longer use the enable password. So meaning that for someone to move from the user mode to the privileged exec mode, they would have to use the enable secret, the secret password, which remember is CCNA, but it has been encrypted. This is just an MD5 encryption. Okay. All right. So we go back to configure terminal, and we can now secure every other configuration in this device. We encrypt it using the service password encryption. So, and we can save that. And if we exit and go back and we do a show running configuration, you can see that now every password is encrypted. All right. Remember these were in plain text. So right now they're encrypted. Okay. Let's go back to the global config mode. We can also configure a banner message of the day such that when someone is logging in, they are presented with the message just to kind of scare them. Not to really scare them, but to tell them what device they're trying to log into, and maybe if they should take note in case they're not authorized to log in. So that is the banner message of the day, or banner MOTD. You configure it by using a special character at the beginning, a delimiter, then followed by a message. You can say authorized access only. And then you end with that special character, the same special character you had at the beginning. And that's it. Okay. So we can save. And then if we exit, so I didn't recognize that command at the privileged exec mode. And so what it's trying to do is to resolve it. A feature that we should have disabled in the beginning. So what is happening is it's trying to find to resolve that END, the end word, to an IP address, of which it will end up failing. This normally takes about, I don't know, 30 seconds before you gain your prompt back. You can definitely cut it short if you want to. There's a shortcut for that. I don't know whether any one of you knows which shortcut it is. You can leave it in the comment section. I'll be very happy to see it. So that's it. It couldn't get anything related to the END command. So what I was trying to do is to exit, and now you can see the banner message of the day. Once you log in for the first time, is presented authorized access only. You can add whichever message you want there. Okay. So basically that's it. That will configure some basic commands on the switch. I've showed you how to connect a device to a switch, how to drag and drop the devices onto your workspace. I've introduced the Cisco Packet Tracer itself, the tool. You can download it from the Cisco website. I've showed you where our tools, our networking tools are going to be, and how we shall drag and drop them to the workspace. Yeah, so in the next episode, we shall be configuring a network. We shall be configuring an actual network. So I hope this has been fruitful, and I would like to thank you for listening. I'll see you in the next episode. Thank you so much.